So this is the first time a podcast has ever been at Foreign Policy for America's annual summit. So it's a huge, huge honor. And my field producer, hey Eb, hey Boo, hi Cassandra. My field producer Salima, this was our first time working with each other, and she's like, I just cannot believe how this community embraces you the way that it does. And that's such an important thing because I wouldn't be able to do this podcast without my national security and foreign policy community. So, first and foremost, thank you. And then, secondly, also to Foreign Policy for America for opening the doors to Nola Haynes is not a spy and trusting me with for trusting me with the interviews. I was able to pull Senator Van Hollen first thing this morning. He was my first interview. It wasn't planned, but it just happened. And then the three amazing women that I went on to interview, I talked to my girl Desiree Comier Smith, who was a former special representative for race equity, and I'm gonna miss one. Race equity, I'm gonna miss one. She was phenomenal in her role, and then of course the Ambassador Bonnie Jenkins, the first Black undersecretary ever, but also the first Black woman to be the Undersecretary of Arms Control and International Security, and then not Amisha Cross calling me right in the middle of my Substack live. Um, hold on, y'all. Hey, Keisha girl. And also Mallory Stewart, who was former assistant secretary of let me not get Mallory. Mallory has such a long title. Assistant secretary of, and then she renamed the department, and I know it has stability in it, but she makes sure we are safe from all types of big, bad, and scary threats. So I had three amazing women, and then also Senator Van Hollen. So this episode is going to be very special. But I just wanted to come here and just kind of like tell y'all, give y'all a little tea about some of the things that are happening today. There are all types of conversations that are happening at the summit. This is not the type of situation where you just go to a conference to hang out with your friends and like go to happy hour after. No, this is 911. This is an emergency, and it is all types of stakeholders in the building today. So just to kind of give you all an idea of some of the conversations that we're having here. Let's see. This morning began with really good conversations, a new nuclear era, future of arms control and deterrence. That's my world. Um, that that one was well attended because this is an important topic. I don't want to break down what arms control is right now, but it's just kind of a set of agreements and treaties that keeps us safe. And so this is a really big topic as the United States kind of moves more into this unilateral, very, very aggressive strongman posture, demeanor, moving away from diplomacy. And arms control is one of those tools available to us in our toolkit. Now, is the situation a little challenging? Absolutely. All of this work is hard. Do you think it was easy to build an arms control regime during the Cold War? No, all of this is hard. All of it is hard. So, this is what the convening is about. It's talking about and figuring out how to do the hard things. Because what happens after this administration? What does that look like? What does the cleanup look like? Right. So, lots of frontier AI and national security considerations, the future of US Israel security assistance. That was one of the things that I worked on at Department of State. Thank you, Boo. Yes. And we will chit chat soon. Thank you, Ed, for popping in. I so appreciate you, sis. Let's see. Let's see. We had some right now we just finished lunch, and so it's like the later part of the day, and all types of things are being talked about, from energy security agenda to commitments in the Indo-Pacific, upending foreign aid. I mean, USAID, everyone has talked about that today, and that was just the first kind of shot in the Trump administration salvo in terms of dismantling or attempting to kind of dismantle the development in foreign policy sectors. So USAID, the dismantling of USAID has been a huge topic here. and also conversations around oversight. And I'm really excited to see that Representative Hakeem Castro is leading that conversation. So it's a lot of different talks that are going on here. And what's so unique about this particular conference is that it's always a blend of stakeholders and congressional members, right? So you can't have one conversation without the other. You cannot have a about security and defense and all the other things, human rights, without speaking to congressional members. So that's what the leadership summit is typically about, is stakeholders coming together and figuring out how to solve really, really big problems. And I can tell you that corruption is a really big theme here. You're going to hear a lot about corruption. You're going to hear a lot about corruption in this current administration and what needs to be done about it. You're going to hear a lot about what comes next. You're going to hear a lot about. So there are new books coming out. My friend Joe Rubin just dropped a new book talking about his vision for foreign policy. I'm part of a larger edited volume that's also talking about progressive foreign policy, what it needs to look like going forward, some things that we need to do. I contributed to that book from the space security side of things, but the literature is starting to come out. The ideas are starting to come out, is what I'm getting at, right? So I'm gonna stop here. I know some of y'all are just joining. Anybody have any questions? I am coming to you live from Foreign Policy for America's Leadership Summit. Hi, DW. Hi, Karen. Hey, Keisha, girl, you said thank you to everyone. Dr. Nola Hands today. Please make sure to subscribe. Yeah, thank you, Keisha. I always forget to tell people to subscribe to Security Brief and then also on YouTube. Hi, DW. Also on YouTube. Keisha would kill me if I did not mention YouTube. Yeah, Keisha, my comms director, she be in the comments banging on people. Hi, Karen. I couldn't see the comments last time. So I was like, what y'all say? So I had a few minutes between this and the next thing, and I just wanted to pop on and let y'all know what's happening. And it's just so special because it's the first time a podcast has ever been here, y'all. Do you know what that feels like? And so I feel like I have a duty to my community to make sure that I am always speaking to relevant and true things, right? Because trust is so important in this world. You have to trust that the person that's speaking to you knows what they're speaking about, right? Which is why Nola Haynes is not a spy exists, because I know a lot of things, y'all, but I don't know everything. So it's important to get folks speaking who do know the things, right? Um, so that's what makes Nola Haynes is not a spy so special, because you get to hear from the stakeholders. You get to hear from the people. I mean, I was doing the I was interviewing someone earlier, and the Honorable Laura Kennedy walked by. And that name may not sound familiar to a lot of you folks, but she was on the International Security Advisory Board with me. And she was like one of the original lawyers in the room, when all of the kind of treaties and agreements were being drafted around the Cold War era. So being able to sit around the table and learn from people like that, right? It doesn't. It's a very different experience from you hearing a quick bite in the news, right? These are the folks that do the work, that did the work, and we will come back and continue to do the work, because one thing is very clear. I think the perverse kind of gift from this administration is showing that, what, diversity does work, doesn't it? I mean, I don't remember any of these problems in the last administration, right? I'm laughing not because it's funny, it's just the irony of it all. So it's a very dramatic way to get the point across that diversity works. It is not anything that I would have wanted, but here we are, right? And you always have to find opportunity. You always have to find opportunity within the challenge. And so the opportunity is, the one thing is very clear, that diversity does work. It's needed and it's important. All right, I'm gonna stop here. Y'all been talking since 9 o'clock this morning. Any questions? If not, I'm gonna hop off and then go to the next thing. But I just wanted to stop by and say hi. And I've been getting a lot of compliments on my suit, y'all, because I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure, but it's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. But yeah, I just wanted to pop on and say hey. To see me out in the wild in my daytime environment. Um, all right, y'all. So with that, I will leave it here in the very special episode of Nola Haynes is Not a Spy. Of this particular episode, probably is going to come out in about 2 weeks. I think the John Finer episode comes out next week. And today, this morning, a very, very, very incredible episode of No Haynes is Not a Spy just dropped. Religion and politics. Let me tell y'all something. You want to hear that conversation because a lot of y'all may not know this. I have a background in religion, so I have a master's degree in divinity. So this conversation means a great deal to me. And then you all know by now that I'm a lapsed cradle Catholic from all of my the stuff that kind of low key went viral about the fight between the president and the pope and who was gonna win. So this is a very special conversation at the Nola Haynes is Not a Spy episode that just dropped on Spotify or Apple. Please, please, please listen to it, share it, share it, share it, share it. We need the views. We need the views. The more you're talking about it, the more you're sharing it, the more people are hearing about Nola Haynes is Not a Spy, y'all. All right. Seriously, I need to stop talking. I've been talking for a long time. Wait, what I miss in the chat? What I miss? What I miss? What I miss? What you saying, Karen? All right, y'all. I'm gonna head on out. Okay.